GM. How everybody doing today? We have a live demo with Sacred Logos. Their tagline is "Get better ideas from your DAO." They allow you to express yourself freely with their unstoppable and anonymous forum without revealing your identity. I believe they use zero knowledge proofs in order for this to work properly, and they also offer token gating and allows people to fully express themselves in an anonymous manner. And also, they can impact governance as well. Um, Excited to get into this today and to learn more about Sacred Logos. Here we have Skyfox with us, Lisan, and Butterfly Baby. Nice to have you all on board today and looking forward to it.
Yeah, thanks for having us, George James.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Thanks for that intro.
Glad to be here.
Awesome, awesome. Happy to have you here. So, first getting into the project, like what inspired the creation of Sacred Logos? Like, what was the main pain point you were trying to solve?
So, a lot of things really. Like, it's actually when we started building Sacred, our core thing was that we really found that privacy was a needed thing in the Web3 space. We discovered it with payments, and we wanted to explore bringing privacy to a blockchain realm because, intuitively people think it's not necessarily private. Sorry, it's not. People think it's actually private by default, but it's not. That privacy has to be built into the experience layer of Web3. We noticed there's a need in the market for privacy and anonymity, and we are also a product team, so we love putting things together. And we noticed this huge problem with DAOs when we started chatting with them since DevCon last year, talking about how people got shut down, even though they were like experts in the space. There was a need for whistleblowing without getting, for lack of a better word, reprimanded, or their reputations get in trouble, for example. And we've seen a lot of that in Web 2 a lot. So we believe like this is the opportunity, and this is the kind of space to like make Sacred Logos a reality.
Nice. So yeah, with the ability to express yourself anonymously, you can actually express yourself honestly that way as well, since people won't you won't feel that you're being judged or that you're going against the crowd, especially when it comes to like voting. Most people will vote with the crowd, especially since they're displaying their profile. So yeah, super interesting to see it in action.
Yeah,
Looking
for
forward
sure.
to yeah
Yeah.
seeing your screen, and yeah, feel free to give us a walkthrough.
Yeah, of course. And yeah, I didn't realize, I realized a little bit late that we could start sharing. So what we want to show you today is basically a quick deck. We're going to try and do this in 10 slides or less. And then Skyfox will show a demo of like what our vision is. And then get to the question and answer period, and then what our ask is. So hopefully all of this is legible to you guys. I'll press play right now. So yeah, we are Team Sacred Logos. We're basically a product team that loves solving problems and building products and sharing that with the world. So what we're doing with Sacred Logos is essentially to solve for effective signaling in DAO communities. And our ultimate vision is to build a unstoppable communications protocol that any application can be built on top of it, that will allow for private signaling of authority and reputation and true anonymous accounts. Our mission, our product that we want to share and build out with the world is basically Sacred Logos. Imagine a discourse or a commonwealth, and add anonymous accounts to that. With it, we want to elevate experts and serious contributors, help them get noticed, and for DAOs to get the best ideas. We want to eliminate bias and identify great proposals and help smaller voices who have intent to and who have the best interest of the DAO in mind. So what is the problem that we've noticed DAOs facing? And it's not only DAOs, but participants and contributors. It's a two-fold thing. We notice participants are ignored. They cannot signal good intent or skin in the game. They can't signal authority. A new user comes in, and it doesn't matter if they work for they worked alongside Vitalik for like 10 years. If he's anonymous and he's saying things for the first time on a DAO forum, he is essentially ignored. Admins can't, and this goes back to the DAO problem. DAOs suffer from a noise proposal deluge, and the noise of proposal deluge, and it's very difficult for DAOs and especially the admins and the moderators to distinguish between new accounts and members wanting to be anonymous. So what we've put together is essentially a DAO forum, much like Commonwealth or Discourse, where to get in, you have to verify your token balance. And then once you verify your token balance, you can make a post on Sacred, just like you do in any regular forum. And then on top of that, at your option, you could signal the tokens that you have. For example, tokens like I have this much bankless tokens in my wallet. Or if this is a DAO forum for bankless, bankless's Fight Club, all you need to do is have the bankless NFT to get in. So in a nutshell, explained in another way, we have a token gating system that only allows certain amounts of people to get in. So this way we're fighting civil attacks. We're allowing people who have actual seriousness in the DAO and who have good intentions for the DAO to participate in logos. And within logos, people can discuss with each other. People can share proposals and comments and even vote. And all this activity is done anonymously. And why would you use Sacred Logos? Because as a contributor, you get noticed. And as a DAO, you get quality of proposals. But this is just the beginning. In the future, we want to help people get, we want to gamify the experience of being a part of governance. And we want to also add other features that help experts get in. So not only do you have an NFT or a token balance, you can also verify your DeFi activity. Are you an LP holder for a certain project, and have you done it for a very long time? You can use that as proof to get into DAO. You want to aggregate your reputation history. Let's say you work for Aave or let's say another ENS DAO, and you want to bring that expertise and signal that to your community, but not necessarily share who you are exactly, you can do that. And if you want to build your reputation over time, let's say you build really good proposals, you make really great comments, everybody upvotes the work that you do, you can build that reputation over time. And whenever you make new posts, that strength carries in your work. We're really creating a system where people are forced to really take the content seriously and not the persona. And also, we don't want to stop there, right? We know we live in the age of AI and ChatGPT, and there's also great opportunities for AI to read sentiments, do sentiment analysis on proposals or comments within a DAO system, so that admins or moderators don't need to analyze hundreds of posts just to understand what the crowd is thinking. And also, because we have the token gating system and our reputation system, the AI can also value certain comments over other comments. So we're going to get into our demo. It's a mock-up of what we're currently building right now, actually. So the user story is simple, and it's basically an active DAO member makes a post and privately signals skin in the game. And then optionally, if you're working with Discourse or Commonwealth, if you do that, you can also have your post get shared into that forum platform. But 1 and 2 is the most important thing. And I'll stop the share screen from there. Skyfox, do you want to take it from here?
Yep, happy to. Can I get James to? Perfect. Let me share my screen. All right, and let me know if my screen is live.
Yeah,
It's
I see it.
loading.
Yep,
It could just be
fantastic.
bro.
Yep. Fantastic. Could you confirm that I'm good to go?
I see it.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, thanks, Lisa. And so, yeah, guys, really excited to show this. And as Lisa was saying, at its base, it's a forum, but then the thing that really makes a difference is all of these amazing tools that we're adding onto it, everything from token gating and signaling reputation. And from the number of people we've talked to, it seems pretty interesting. And our goal is to elevate good discussions and I guess reduce the governance burden, which we have found is an issue as well. So I'm going to show you guys the mockup, but this is actually the live site. And we've already done a whole bunch of work on the smart contracts. It's running on Polygon. We're still working on the client side and also the interface. So it's running on IPFS right now, and it's on Matic network. But that's the live one that is still a work in progress. But I wanted to show you guys what we have in the works as part of our vision. So very similar to, I guess, Commonwealth and other similar products with a few key differences. So when a user gets here, the first thing they see is a list of DAOs that they can participate in. And in this case, let's say that we are a sub-DAO of Bankless. Let's say we're on the Research Guild. And as Lisa mentioned, the joining part is really quick, but it's part of a secret sauce. So part of it is reputation gating, and you can gate this with anything you want. It can be one token, a bunch of tokens, a combination of NFTs. That's already built out. But then also critically is that we don't stop at NFTs. Lisa mentioned reputation. So when you're joining, we want the system to be able to sort of collect the reputation that you already have had. If there's any participation, any pops you might have, or let's say even a reputation from places like GitHub or Stack Overflow. So it can pull all of this and kind of give you convert it into sort of like a reputation that you can use in the system. And as you communicate, it's able to, I guess, rank your reputation. We're giving the DAO managers to either have it ranked as like titles. So for example, this person is skilled, this one is experienced, or I think the feedback we've been getting is that having it as numbers and XP is kind of an easier way to use. But then the whole idea is that the more you interact with the system, the higher the XP you gain. And the more XP you have also opens up different things. So if I just joined and let's say I didn't have much reputation gathered from other sources, I would not immediately be allowed to post. I would need to build up my reputation by lurking a little bit more. I'd be able to upvote, but let's say not downvote. And then the more actions are to take in the forum, the more I'd be able to build up my reputation, and this would unlock, I suppose, different things. And so at some point, I would be able to post. And the whole intent of this is to reduce the governance burden. And the other thing that's really cool is that in one sense, like when you're managing the DAO, you as the, let's say the admin or the moderator can set different parameters for reputation. So you might want to token gate your reputation for creating a post or comments and things like that, depending on the level of expertise you want in your DAO. But also more critically is that you can also set the reputation for moderation. And this is what we call permissionless moderation. And that means that you can say, well, somebody with 500 points is able to flag posts, or somebody with 1,000 can kick or ban users. And what that means is that users don't really need to ask for permission to be able to moderate. But once you're in the forum and they've gained enough reputation, they're able to essentially moderate. And the cool thing is that the reputation you gain on one DAO, let's say you're in the Research Guild or in the Fight Club sub-DAO, you're able to transfer it everywhere. Now, what we love about reputation is that we also have an incentive mechanism in the works. And that means, let's say Bankless wants to incentivize posts. They can, let's say, stake a bit of the tokens in the system, and then these tokens trickle in to the participants based, one, on their level of participation, but two, based on the number of expertise they have. So somebody who's been here grinding for a long time gets rewarded more for their expertise and their work versus somebody who kind of just joined and they're upvoting or downvoting. So we want this to encourage participation by everyone, number one, and number two, to reduce the governance burden. Because what would happen is, if you have reputation and a reward mechanism, users are also incentivized to sort of like help govern and moderate and do all of these things. So it becomes like a lot easier for moderators and admins all around. And I guess there's a whole bunch of features, but I guess the one thing I'll say about reputation is it's inflationary, because everybody's reputation is increasing over time. That means if you started out and you just had 236 XP, 6 months down the line, it won't be as worth it as it was today. And that encourages more participation. And yeah, and I guess that's it. And happy to take any questions or show you guys any more features.
Yeah, so earlier in the presentation, you mentioned that you can migrate your reputation from, let's say, Stack Overflow into your basically into your account on Sacred Logos. How does that work exactly? Like, what type of information it takes from Stack Overflow?
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you could do that on other forums and other platforms. Like, I don't know, let's say you have quite a reputation on GitHub. I assume you could do the same thing.
Yeah, well, so we're still working on that, but what we want to do is just have kind of like a standard conversion method, so to speak. So we could say somebody who's let's say got so many points on Stack Overflow. Yeah, let's say it's transferred maybe a 1-to-5 ratio or something like that. In terms of XP. But then, yeah, that's a one-time transfer. And once it's in XP, that's, I guess that's kind of it. And yeah, we also, and the other thing we want to do is allow vouching. So that's kind of like a different kind of reputation. So there's a limited number of, let's say, just 10 different things that a user can vouch another user on. So for example, this user here has been vouched 25 times, so it's a great marketer, and 18 times is really useful for governance. But then the major reputation we have is the XP, and that's transferred with some sort of ratio, let's say from Stack Overflow or any other interesting sources we find. And just to say that we're using Unirep. And so once it's transferred into Unirep, it's also, I guess it can go beyond our protocol. It can really go to anybody else who's using Unirep.
So the Unirep?
Mhm. Yeah,
Yes, sure.
Unira. Mhm.
Yeah, interesting. Just pulled that project up. It's my first time hearing about it. But yeah, I see it's a ZK protocol. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then okay, so this feature being able to migrate your reputation from other platforms, it basically is to show that you're credible even though you're not presenting yourself. You're anonymous, but you're still showing that you have some credibility in what you're saying.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's to give you, I guess, a starting level of credibility, because we've all been online for a while and we've built different kinds of reputation in different places. So we don't want people to start from zero. We want to give them at least, I guess, a leg up in building their reputation.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, incentivizing people to take certain actions. They could build their reputation up. Sweet.
Yeah, and maybe something else that's pretty cool is that so we want it to stay anonymous, but we want users to be able to track their conversations. And so you want to know who you're talking to. And what we're doing is we're generating random usernames per post. So if you access a post, your username is generated for that specific post. And the only thing that moves with you is your experience. So somebody knows that I'm talking to somebody who's done a lot of work, or I'm answering a new user. And that way you can keep track of who you're talking to, but then it still stays anonymous.
So I see we have a question here from Crypto Dad. You mentioned that. I wonder how you ensure the reputations gained among the different communities are quantitatively comparable.
So yeah, that's a really good point. The points assigned are actually borrowed from Stack Overflow. They've had a really good system for years and years and years, and it's been modified over time and it's evolved. And so the points assigned for each action are the same. And there's gamification tactics to it as well. So if you downvote, you actually lose a bit of reputation for downvoting somebody. But then it doesn't cost you as much as somebody who's been downvoted many times by many people. So we've taken all those things into consideration. But long story short is that across the board, the amount of reputation you gain for an action you perform or an action performed on you, let's say a response or an upvote, is standard across the board. Yeah.
I also want to imagine a world where there's DAO contributors gain different experiences, and we do come into a situation where someone contributing on, let's say, Fight Club is much more experienced than someone, and someone getting XP there is much more experienced than someone working at like Aave DAO, for example, right? So right now, I want to disclaim that the reputation system is in development. So we can make it so that it's across the board universal, or we can make it such that it could be like Fight Club experience points or Aave experience points, and then it's up to the community moderators of a certain DAO how they value certain experience points, so that it's up to them to decide how they read credibility and build rules on their DAO for that.
I got you. And can you also migrate like XP that you have from another DAO into another one? Like, let's say I had a lot of I have a lot of experience in BanklessDAO. Could I take
Yeah.
that experience into another DAO that I'm participating in?
Yeah, the thing is, you're not really carrying it over. You have it in your link to your account or your address, right? And you're simply going to the other DAO and revealing that you have that much points.
Okay, I got you. So it's all accrues into your account.
Yes.
Mhm.
And our job is to make sure that nobody knows that this person who accrued this many XP points is associated with this address.
Yeah. And so Yeah, so to do that, we're just adding a bit of noise to the XP. So this person has 1,077 XP. Well, if they jump to another post, you might see 1,236. So you just add a little bit of noise to it. So you just know the person you're talking to has pretty much around 1,000 XP. And this one is 236 in this post. You might see 207 on another one. And just little things like that to make the game anonymous enough so that you know the expertise of the person you're talking to, but then you don't know who you're talking to. And we're calling it anonymity with accountability. And something else that you can optionally display on a post is the, let's say, the vote rate you have. So that's an option as well for DAOs. You can say, hey, this when I'm talking to this person, I also want to know, how much skin in the game do they have. So one is sort of like sweat equity in the game, which is the XP, and another one is the the stake, how much stake they have in the protocol. You can see as well. And it's actually fairly simple to implement. I mean, not simple, but it's straightforward because all we're doing is we're looking at accounts and using really cool protocols like Unirep to do a lot of the magic.
Nice. And there's another statement here made by Crypto Dad. The reputation probably should be worth more gain from a larger community, such as BanklessDAO, compared to a smaller community or even a fake community. So, like, is XP treated differently when you earn it at a larger DAO compared to a smaller community?
Mm.
I mean,
That's yeah.
But it's like,
Sorry,
what's-
listen.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to quickly say that like we can set it as the market wants it, right? This is early on for us. Right now, we're thinking of making the XP points universal, but this product is still essentially in alpha
Yeah.
right now, and we could change the rules up anytime.
Got you. A question that came to mind too, in regards to anonymity. Like, how anonymous are users? Are they just like, are they anonymous on the forum, or are they like so anonymous to the point where even the person running the forum can't even find your IP address? Like, are people's IP address shielded as well?
The application ensures anonymity, granted that you have a VPN. That's what I would say. We that IP addresses is something that we can't solve for because it's outside of the application. But if you need the address,
no proxy setup or anything. So if you want to be like 100% anonymous, that's on you to use a VPN.
yes.
Gotcha.
And I suppose something else someone could use is their own relay. It's pretty modular. So it starts from the client, and then the client goes to a relay that increases the anonymity, and the relay communicates with the EVM chain. Oh, by the way, this is a multi-chain. Right now, as we speak, it communicates with any EVM in terms of token getting, and we can conceivably even add Solana or anything else. But if somebody wants to be super anonymous, they could even just run up their own relay and just use it. They could even just run up their own client if they want, because really it's a protocol that's running everything really.
Yeah.
But it reduces the OPSEC burden, and as Lisan said, really, if you go to VPN, you're pretty much anonymous.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And you mentioned that you're partnered with Unirep. Are there any other protocols that you're partnered with at the moment?
We're partnered with Polygon. They're helping us get us introduced to DAOs, and we're looking into chatting with Protocol Labs to see if we can build something there because we're using IPFS to essentially store all the messages.
Nice.
Yeah, and maybe to add on to that is that one challenge that we've seen with decentralized social protocols is the cost. Like, that's a big deal. And we actually started out on Ethereum, and that was pretty expensive. And now we're on Polygon, and that's it's much cheaper and it's much faster. I think it's about 7 cents per post, but then that's still pretty high cost. So down the line, once we finish the protocol and the client, we're considering building on top of sort of like hyperscaling. So it's on app chain, maybe on ZK Sync, and we'll have better controls over the costs. But yeah, but right now what we're doing is it's running on the testnet. So information is stored on IPFS, and the Merkle trees are stored on testnet, and it's essentially free. And what we're doing for now in the interim is that the Merkle tree on the testnet is, we can say, rolled up and backed up onto the mainnet periodically. So that keeps cost way lower than 7 cents per post. But eventually we want to have our own app chain, and I guess that would be another partnership. So right now we're looking at ZK Sync and other services.
Nice. Okay, so maybe your own app chain coming in the future. Would that mean you would have your own token in the future? Is that something that you guys would want to do?
That's something that we're exploring, yes, and we're actually excited about that.
Interesting. I'm guessing that would be too much alpha to talk about now. A Sacred Logos token. It has something to talk about in a future demo.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't want to distort like what the plans are, because it could change, right? But the token essentially incentivizes the relayers to make sure that the tokens are essentially it ensures that the messages are as anonymous as possible on the protocol side. The tokens will also be used to incentivize IPFS nodes, for example, to ensure that the messages are taken care of. And yeah, like at a third round is we could also use the tokens to execute the transactions, or rather the posts on Sacred Logos as well. So there's multiple layers of utility for this coin, token rather.
Nice. And so I understand that you can use your platform on Discord. Are there any other communities or any other like Discord replacements, if you will, that you can use Sacred Logos? Like, I use Sacred Logos at gm.xyz, or let's say Lens Protocol or something like that.
Yeah, so I want to like clarify. When we say discourse, we mean discourse the forum.
Actually,
Yes. So how we build it is people can use Sacred Logos as the platform for their DAO governance, if they wanted to, and then right, if they were of a mind that they have their own discourse, for example, or their own metaphoro, like Shapeshift has, they could stay in their platform, right? And those DAO forms can actually use the protocol, just the protocol side, to ensure that messages are kept anonymous.
Okay, cool. I see we have another question here by Crypto Dad. Another statement. He said he was wondering if using Sacred Logos would be mainly in web browsers, or if it will have an app interface.
For now, as we build the beta out and we get beta testers, which is something we need in the near future, it will become a web app. But we're already looking into like making the experience as responsive as possible. And the idea is to make this as widely available as possible. So an app would be the best way to like distribute Sacred Logos. So yeah, that's in the works.
Maybe to add on to that is that underneath it's a protocol, and it's permissionless. And so that means that we can build the like a mobile app ourselves, but also anybody else can build on the app. The data is would be shared and anonymous. So it's anybody can really build anything. In fact, right now you're looking at a kind of like a forum, but on top of this you can build something like Mirror or Medium. You can build something like Twitter. It's basically data, anonymized data on IPFS, and like a Merkle tree that handles the relationships and everything like that. So really, you could build anything you want, and you can reuse the data, have your own data.
Yeah, it's very confusing to just see the app on the screen, because that's just the app layer, right? The protocol layer is practically invisible, or it's there, but it's very difficult to like display that.
Okay, and we're almost at the end of this demo here. Something I wanted to get to is how can people contribute to Sacred Logos? So since you're having a token coming in the near future, I assume you're going to become a DAO as well, perhaps. Yeah, so like, how can people listening in on this demo get involved at Sacred Logos and contribute if they wish to?
Yeah, so we have our Discord, which we could share with you, George James, and we also have our Twitter as well. In the near future, in terms of helping us out, we actually need some expert contributors to work with us and improve the Sacred Logos experience, so that we can, when we publicly release the beta, it would be a kick-ass product, and it completes all the corners that we haven't seen. And we also have a website available as well, where we're capturing people's contact details if they want to partner, contribute, or participate in any other way. But we're also, if you want to get at us like more directly and quickly, the Discord would be the best bet.
Discord, I'll have to share some in the chat for everyone, so they could get in contact with you guys.
Yeah. So yes, to echo what Lisa just said, is that we're building this, but we're building it with the community, for the community. So to contribute, if anybody comes to that sacred.place and enters our Discord and just say, hey, I want to help test, that's huge for us, because it's really important for us to get feedback as we go along, which is also why we're here, because all of these questions, we already had a few suggestions in this meeting. Like that's all written down and compiled. And so it's, testers is really important for us.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Testing is very important for Sacred Logos, especially in the position they're at now, just getting started, just in alpha mode. So yeah, guys, feel free to join their Discord. I shared the link to their Discord in the chat. And you guys can test and give feedback in there. And I want to thank you guys so much for your time. And I see we have Rachel up here from Opolis. I believe they're about to start their demo in about 2 minutes. Rachel, do you have any questions, or are you just getting prepared for your demo?
So I am getting prepared, but I would love to connect Lisa on it and just talk about how we can support each other's projects for sure.
Yeah, totally. That's really, really great. And Rachel, I think we chatted just previously, like
Actually,
yes.
yeah, actually, I think pre-ETH Denver we talked about Sacred Logos. Now that I'm thinking back, wow.
Small world. Great to see you here.
Yeah, man. I shared some links here in the chat. If you want to click my link tree, those are the different ways to connect with me, and maybe we can pick up a conversation on potentially forming a partnership.
Yes, let's do that. This is great.
Nice, that's beautiful. Love it. I love how easily partnerships are made in Web3.
Yeah, the crowd is serious and they're great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just I want to just give a huge thanks to Jairus today for facilitating this, and for Edit Thinker for inviting me here today. And yeah, I can jump into the demo whenever we're ready.
So I'm gonna unshare my screen. I just want to thank you all so much for the suggestions. It's really cool, and yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
No problem at all. Thank you guys for your time and for presenting your demo today. And yeah, let's stay in touch, and looking forward to the future of Sacred Logos and see what's going on in your Discord, and to keep up to date with the token drop and everything like that. So yeah, let's stay in touch. Thank you once again for your time.
Thank
Amazing.
you. You guys.
Amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for sharing. So yeah, we're gonna do a little bit of a changeover. Skyfox, Butterfly Baby, Lisan, feel free to stay in the audience and listen to the Opolis demo. You might learn something that you didn't know before, or find out something amazing. So yeah, the next step, Rachel, is we need to do a quick swap over of